This show is brought to you by Safety FM.
The following program is rated MA-LSV. It contains strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
Finally, show with the balls to call it like it is. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Countdown to audio torture.
The Rated R Safety Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Let the eardrum pain begin.
Forget the corporate bullshit. This is the Rated R Safety Show with your host, Dr. It doesn't matter who the host is.
Oh, yes. Thank you. Thank you for letting me know, because I was not aware. Anyways, how are you on this glorious Tuesday, April the 15th of 2025, day 105th? And only 260 days left to go. Anyways, we are broadcasting from the Safety FM studios in Orlando, Florida, and coming across the multiverse known as Safety FM, and then hanging out with our friends and colleagues over there.
Radio Big. USA, Canada, UK.
Oh, yes, doing our stuff on the Radio Big side of the house, in case you were wondering on what the hell was going on over there. No doubty about that. So a lot of stuff going on. Thank you for all the people that have reached out to say something nice, kind, or indifferent about the new book. I did not realize that people were going to go crazy on Kindle immediately, but thank you. Thank you. Hopefully the book will take you places that you haven't been before. Yeah, it's talking about, just in case we missed out, yesterday we did announce that I do have a new book that came out. Woohoo! Yeah, and let me rephrase that, because there's going to be a couple of things here. Number one, my new book that came out, it's my first book that came out. Well, there has been some confusion on some of these places that I've been, where people make this assumption that the books that I've been involved with, I help write. Not that I help write, I've helped narrate, I've helped do some of the stuff behind the scenes, but not anything else. So there you go, that's the first book. And it's kind of funny, because somebody already pointed out to me that there's a story inside of there where you're talking about so you got pulled off of a stage, and somebody was saying something about a book that you had written. And I was like, yeah, the person was confused that I had written the book. But I guess I didn't explain that good enough. But I'm sure you'll find all kind of lovely errors inside of the book as we go. Anyways, the book's titled Safety in My Opinion: Conscience, Construct, and the Reality of Risk. So it's available now on Amazon. Also, we are doing some special stuff if you're hanging out inside of the multiverse today. So if you're hanging out in the multiverse today and you're taking a look around at some of the other stuff that's related there, I already sound like I'm in promotion mode. That sounds terrible. Anyways, if you see some stuff that's there, we are offering the audio version, but not through Audible. If you go to safetyimo.com, www.safetyimo.com, if you go there and you pick the Soundwise version, not the Audible version, because the Audible version for some reason has not been released yet. We are offering it there where you could actually take a 50% off on that thing. And once you get there, all you have to do is put in code SIMO. So safety in my opinion. Safety in my opinion. So right there, available to you. Anyway, sorry for going off on that already. I don't even know. Just something popped up on the screen. So our show consists of safety in the news and safety. That's kind of the way that it goes. That is the liar in regards of what we do around here. So as you go through all of the information, you're going to have some options right away of hanging out with us, doing some things. Audio, video, and text messaging. If you go to callinradio.com, that's callinradio.com. They'll get everything moving and grooving for you. Once you do that, callinradio.com. Audio, video, text messaging gives you a little prompt on the screen. I know what to do from that particular point on. It makes it fabulous in regards of what's going on. So there you go. Safety, IMO, call in radio. Some options of options, if I may. So a lot of stuff going on, little time to talk about it. Okay, so let's do this. Why don't we start talking right away about what the heck was trending on the other night? Because I think some people are going to want that.
Here is what was trending. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, so as I take a look at the trends at the ends, Toko, the human collie returns. We'll talk about that. Female flight crew takes off in a new health report from Hackman, a Rockwell property. We'll talk about that as we get into showbiz. Also, Mickey Rourke addresses his Big Brother exit, and a Minecraft movie sets a new record. We'll talk about that in casting calls and gifts exchange, hands among the royal folds. We'll talk about that as we get into the royals. So if you're on the lookout, we'll be on the lookout. We'll talk a little bit about everything, no doubt there. So let's bring in our people from Feature Story News because they're ready to talk to you, let you know what's going on inside of their universo. So if you're ready, I'm ready, and here's the news.
Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
From Feature Story News in London, I'm Ollie Barrett. Chinese leader Xi Jinping has called on his country and Vietnam to oppose unilateral bullying, according to Beijing state media. Xi is in Vietnam on a Southeast Asia tour with Malaysia and Cambodia included later this week, Laura Westbrook reports.
State media reported that President Xi Jinping said that both Vietnam and China must oppose unilateral bullying as he tries to present China as the champion of free trade and multilateralism. The two neighbors signed 45 cooperation deals, including on supply chains, artificial intelligence, and railway development. While U.S. tariffs on Vietnam and other countries have been paused, China still faces huge duties and is looking to tighten regional trade ties. Vietnam, meanwhile, is walking a diplomatic tightrope between the U.S. and China as it too hopes to strike a deal with the United States. It's under pressure from Washington to tighten controls on some trade with China. Laura Westbrook, Hong Kong.
India and the US are beginning sector-wise discussions on a bilateral trade deal that New Delhi hopes will reduce the impact of US tariffs. Before they were paused, President Donald Trump imposed a 26% levy on Indian goods, which analysts said could cost India up to $7 billion a year. Ishan Garg reports from New Delhi.
India and US officials are beginning virtual talks this week as both sides look to finalize a trade agreement soon. The talks come off the back of US Assistant Trade Secretary's India visit last month when two sides agreed on the broad contours of the deal. They will now examine reducing tariffs sector by sector, though reports say India is likely to offer zero tariffs to any US product. Delhi faces lower tariffs than its neighbor China, causing tech giants such as Apple to pivot their manufacturing to India. If India and the US sign an agreement soon, analysts say it could bolster New Delhi's status as an alternative manufacturing hub in Asia.
The White House says over $2 billion in federal funds for Harvard University are being frozen. It comes after Harvard rejected a list of demands from the Trump administration, which it said were to fight anti-Semitism. The university says the White House was trying to exert too much control over its operations. The UK is hosting an international summit on Sudan, 2 years since a civil war started in the country. London's unveiled a new support package of life-saving aid for more than 650,000 people affected by the violence. Lord Oates from United Against Malnutrition and Hunger says the world needs to act.
Where hunger and malnutrition and conflict are allowed to fester, extremism grows and, as we know, spreads beyond our borders. The conflict is already impacting Sudan's neighbours and destabilising them.
From bureaus worldwide, this is FSN.
With FSN Spotlight, I'm Simon Marks. Today, the weekend Russian attack on the Ukrainian city of Sumy. President Trump called it a mistake, but many Republicans in Congress believe it was a deliberate Kremlin assault designed to undermine talks about peace. Paul Conroy, a filmmaker who has spent months chronicling the war, agrees.
What we saw in Sumy over the weekend was absolutely a deliberate targeting of civilians on the way to church. 3 children dead, 34 others dead, and hundreds injured. This was Iskander missiles. Now, let me just tell everyone what an Iskander missile is. It's a missile capable of carrying a nuclear warhead. In this case, they were loaded with cluster munitions, steel ball bearings that explode in every direction. It was in the center of the town. Now, these missiles are incredibly accurate. I've been 500 meters away from when they've hit a ship. They can pick a ship out in a harbour and target it deliberately. So they're not random missiles. These were aimed at the centre of a city, 35 kilometres from the border, at civilians going to church. You know, before we go anywhere with this, it's a war crime. You know, targeting civilians deliberately is a war crime.
Meanwhile, President Trump on Monday repeated his entirely false claim that Ukraine started the war against Russia.
To recap the top stories, Chinese leader Xi Jinping's called on his country and Vietnam to oppose unilateral bullying amid a trade row with the US. India and the US are beginning sector-wise discussions on a bilateral trade deal New Delhi hopes will reduce the impact of tariffs. The White House says over $2 billion in federal funds for Harvard are being frozen, and the UK is hosting an international summit on Sudan 2 years after a civil war started. That's the latest feature story news. Ollie Barrett reporting.
This show is almost as enjoyable as hearing the sound of the toilet flush. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
This portion of the show has been sponsored by Private Internet Access, America's #1 virtual private network, or VPN. Even if you use incognito mode, internet service providers is storing your browser data and many times even selling it. But Private Internet Access, or PIA, can help you. PIA encrypts and reroutes your internet traffic through one of its own servers, hiding your data from your internet service provider or network admin. And with servers in over 75 countries, you can get unrestricted access to geo-blocked content from around the world. PIA comes with easy-to-use apps and browsers extension for all devices, a rock-solid privacy policy, open source security, advanced customization settings, and it was just ranked the fastest VPN in the world by PC Magazine. And if you sign up right now with PIA, you can take advantage of a special deal only for Safety FM listeners. Only by using the following link, you can get the digital privacy for less than $2 a month. Yes, you did hear me correctly, less than $2 a month, and an extra 4 months for free. So that means for only $1.98 a month and 83% off, you can get this service for you right now. That's so much more inexpensive than virtually every other VPN on the market. And if you get it right now, you can take PIA's 30-day risk-free challenge. You can try it out for 30 days, see if you like it, and if not, just return it for a full refund. So just go to safetyfm.com/VPN. That's safetyfm.com/VPN to try out the best VPN on the planet completely risk-free. Now remember, safetyfm.com/VPN.
Safety in a way never heard of before. The Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Do you have a claim and not sure where to turn? Coastal Claim Consultants are professionally licensed and bonded public insurance adjusters employed exclusively by you, the policyholder, to represent you after sustaining an insured loss. They assist policyholders in all aspects of processing the claim, working closely with the insured to provide the most equitable and timely settlement possible.
They will provide you with comprehensive service, anything from inspecting the law site, analyzing damages, compiling claim support data, reviewing applicable coverages, assessing replacement costs of damages, and negotiating your settlement. The adjusters at Coastal Claim Consultants will evaluate your claim for no upfront cost whatsoever. Coastal Claim Consultants' fee is based on contingency contracts and are paid when the insurance company sends you a check and it's in your possession. Coastal Claim Consultants are licensed to assist you in the following states: Florida, Texas, Oklahoma, Georgia, and South Carolina. For more information, go to coastal-cc.com. That's coastal-cc.com. For more information, lighting the way to recovery. Coastal Claim Consultants.
Safety never sounded so terrible. Rated R Safety Show.
It's always amazing to me on how technology changes, and so does the environment that we're in. And cyber criminals will do everything they can to take advantage of a system. If you don't own a home, you have nothing to fear about what I'm about to tell you. But if you own a home like me and you don't guard it with home title lock, you're inviting home title fraud. One of the fastest growing crimes. Cyber thieves around the world know our home values are sky high at the moment, and that makes us a target. The crime is scary simple. Let me explain it to you real quick.
A cyber thief simply forges your name on a property sale form and refiles it. That's it.
Now he or she is on the deed of your home and you have no idea that you're a victim. Then the person takes out a loan on your home and vanishes, leaving you to prove to the police that you didn't commit bank fraud. Home Title Locks puts a virtual barrier around your home title. The instant they detect any kind of tampering or anybody messing around, they help shut it down. Look, if you have equity in your home, you need to guard it the best way that you can. Some people might even go as far as guarding it with their life. Go to HometitleLock.com and register your address to see if you already are a victim. And enter the code RADIO. That's RADIO. That's the code RADIO for 30 days free of protection. That's code RADIO at HometitleLock.com.
He's the man. It's awesome, funny, random, doesn't make any sense, but it's good.
Jay Allen in the morning on Radio Big.
Oh, yes, on Radio Big. That's the way that it works. That's the way that we talk about everything. That is the way that we do things, apparently. Apparently, he doesn't want to do the hearts today. So disappointing. Okay, anyway, 17 minutes past the top of the hour as we are hanging out doing all the lovely talk stuff that we get to do around here. No doubt about that. Anyways, let's talk tariff talk because apparently we have to devote a whole segment to this just for you to know what is going on the world of tariffs today. Anyways, tech hardware manufacturer NVIDIA announced plans to invest $500 billion in the United States over the next 4 years to produce AI supercomputers in Arizona and Texas. NVIDIA currently primarily manufactures in Taiwan, which was temporarily subject to a 32% tariff before Trump paused the new tariff scheme last week. Also, a conservative legal nonprofit representing 5 small businesses in a lawsuit against Trump administration is claiming its use of emergency powers to levy tariffs have exceeded their authority. The suit filed in the U.S. Court of International Trade alleges that the International Emergency Economic Power Act, authorities that Trump have cited, does not apply to the present situation. So we'll have to be on the lookout for that. Also, on the other end of the law, the Trump administration signaled on Monday that it would use the Trade Expansion Act of 1962 to impose tariffs on semiconductors, pharmaceutical products, and the law that gives the president powers to slap tariffs on products in the interest of national security. Surely buying technology components from America's principal adversaries, China, is a bad idea. And these components should be made domestically as much as possible, according to the editor of this news story. So what do you think? I mean, it's something new every day. I mean, let's not lie here, because if not, I'd be saying something entirely different. I mean, think about it. What else are we going to do? I mean, some people are going to be like, well, hold on. Because that number is constantly, boom, now is moving around. Now, a lot of people are talking about that we need to start looking at the bond market, as these tariffs are supposed to have some implication there. So we'll talk about that as we get into it. Okay, take a listen to this. The real estate market for the super rich is hitting the high seas. A luxury mega yacht called Ulysses will offer condos for about $10 million, which buys about 1,184 square foot. On the higher end, a $90 million will get you 10,258 square foot penthouse and 6 bedrooms. In all, there's 133 suites, 15 decks, with each has a terrace, overlooks the water. Personal butler service is also included. The ship will also be able to accommodate 2 helicopters and 2 submersibles and indoor and outdoor pools. But just like owning a home comes with the property taxes and utilities, and so does this. So living inside of this as a resident, you'll have to shell out a minimum of $300,000 a year for fuel and food cost. This is according to the Telegraph. So what do you think? Lifestyles of the rich and the famous.
Duh.
I'm just asking. I mean, are you interested in this? I don't know. Some stuff to talk about for sure. Take a listen to this one. Debt dive. Attendees of this weekend's Coachella Festival have complained about the high cost of food and drinks at the event, not to mention the cost of the entry in the first place. Billboard reports that more than 60% of attendees use buy now, pay later financing for their admission. Financing for the concert experience, which started at, $600, comes with a fee of $41. Payment plans for the pricey experience aren't anything for new here. Installment options rolled out in 2009, but fewer than 20% of attendees use this option. So, some stuff. I was reading yesterday that if you were in the camping side, that it could take you up to 10 hours to get in through the process of everything that needed to be done. Could you imagine that? You paid for a higher end ticket, because I would imagine if you're staying on the camping site, it was not cheaper than a traditional ticket. And then, boom, you laid it out there. Don't you know it's time to lay it on the line? I can rest my head. Oh, no, that's something else. So, a lot of stuff. Okay, so take a listen to this. Pfizer hopes to bring new weight loss drug in pill form to the market. Will have to wait. The company announced the ending of the daily GLP-1 pill with similar effects as Ozempic after one participant experienced damage to their liver enzymes. Fortunately, those enzymes recovered quickly and the participant did not experience any symptoms or side effects. The setback follows similar pause back in 2023, which was in December, by the way, when a twice-a-day pill regimen also failed trials. For now, it sounds like Pfizer is abandoning the foray into the weight loss drug. In a statement, Pfizer's chief scientific officer said that they were disappointed to discontinue the development of the pill and will remain committed to evaluating and advancing promising programs in an effort to bring innovative and new medicines to patients. This is according to CNBC. So where do you fall on this Ozempic GLP-1 thing? Are you a participant? Are you not a participant? Is it something you would take? Is it something you wouldn't take? How important is the weight loss look for you? Some people love that stuff. Some people have all kinds of questions on how that should actually work or not.
It's this show, and they just make fun of a whole bunch of people. It's just too funny. It's too stupid.
Rated R Safety Show.
Yep, Rated R Safety Show. So life update on Toko, the human collie. Just months after opening his People Zoo, the doggy masquerade says that may soon be forced to shut down due to no bookings. The Toko Zoo offers visitors a chance to experience a life as a canine. Yeah, 80 minutes of doggy playtime costs about $300. The Japanese man known only as Toko went viral in 2023 after spending more than $16,000 on a hyper-realistic costume of a collie suit. An effort to live out his dream as a man's best friend. Yeah, that's a thing. That's like not a joke. Oh, why do I go into these weird stories that make no sense to humanity? Yeah, the dude is straight up dressed like a dog. Here, if you're on the Video Eater streamer, I will just post that picture on there. And the dog is dressed, or the person's essentially dressed like Lassie. I got another one. The other one looks, I mean, just depending on the angling, this one looks kind of hyper real in regards of it. So, weird stuff, man. Like, how do you wake up one day and say, hey, I think I want to be a dog? Sounds like a great plan of stuff to do.
Radio Big. Streaming 24/7 at radiobig.fm.
Yep, there you go. So let's talk about this. Who are these people? Okay. Why is I don't even know how sometimes some of this stuff makes it into my news headlines, but apparently we need to talk about this because it's listed on here as importante. So it looks like there was a breakup between Rami Malek and, Emma Corbin have broken up after almost 2 years of dating. He's 43, she's 29. No word on the cause. Okay. Some reason it's dropped inside of here, so I guess it's important to talk about. Is it because he had a new movie that just came out? Is it because he was a Bond villain? Is it because somebody slid it in there in regards of what needed to be done? I don't know. A lot of stuff going on for sure as we are talking. Okay, so take a listen to this. Trump administration plans to work with Congress to pass a bill that would permanently eliminate funding of public broadcasting, including PBS and NPR. The bill would also permanently cut more than $8 billion from the USAID. During Trump's first term, a similar effort to defund public broadcasting failed by one vote in the U.S. Senate. In some other news, sportscaster Stephen A. Smith says that he's leaving the door wide open to run for the Democratic nomination in 2028. Smith on the ABC's This Week that multiple people from the political world, including elected officials and billionaires, have approached him about exploring this committee and things of that nature, Smith said. Could you imagine that? I mean, nothing against Stephen A. Smith, but man, that would be a different world in regards if he was running for anything. I mean, I'd be kind of interested and see what would happen. The person that I thought would run next, and this is just my opinion, I mean, that's why we're kind of here about some stuff. The person that I always thought was going to run, even though he's a Hollywood guy now, or has been for years at this point, is I really thought The Rock would. Dwayne The Rock Johnson. And then all of a sudden, never happened. But that just tells you what I know about politics. Absolutely nothing is what it sounds like. Okay, so let's talk about this real quick because it's going to be important. Let's talk about the numbers. The Dow increased by 312 points to close at 40,524 on Monday. The S&P increased by 42 points to close at 5,405. And the NASDAQ ticked up by 107 points to close at 16,831. West Texas Intermediate closed at $61 a barrel, and Brent crude was at $65 a barrel. The national average price of a gallon of gas was $3.18 on Monday, and Bitcoin was mostly flat, trading just around 84,800. Tonight's Mega Million drawing will be for $96 million jackpot or $42.2 million cash payout. So if you want to play the game, it's opportunity out there to do so, no doubt about that. So what do you think? Some stuff, huh? Some stuff to talk about. Take a listen to this one real quick. So here's a follow-up to the New Mexico Department of Public Health found that dead rodents scattered across several outbuildings on Gene Hackman's and Betsy Arhuaca Santa Fe property. There was also 2 vehicles on the property that showed signs of rodent infestation. The primary residence where the couple were found showed no signs of rodent activity. Remember that Betsy died from hantavirus pulmonary syndrome caused by the hantavirus, which is spread through the rat and mouse urine and droppings. This is according to TMZ. So I don't know. A lot of stuff still up in the air there. I'll tell you, I have some friends that live in Santa Fe, New Mexico. Yeah, he might know some of them. Just saying. And this is still making some big headlines there, based on some of the behind the scenes combos that I've had. So there you go. Some info to talk about. What else do we got? Billionaire music mogul Sean Combs is reportedly using $1 cans of Mezcal as currency behind bar. Macs, as they are called in prison, are available for purchase from the commissary, which inmates are allowed to spend $180 at every 2 weeks. The count is on. Combs' sex trafficking trial begins on May the 5th. This is according to the New York Post. What do you mean the count is on? I'm pretty sure the countdown was on from the moment that they said that he was not getting out, where he had to hang out in prison. I mean, do you think that's different? I don't think it is. I'm just saying. So a lot of stuff going on inside of that world. So what do you think? What do you think about this whole thing? It's interesting times. I mean, there is no doubt there whatsoever as we are talking about this. Because we're living in some troubled times, no doubt. Okay, so with that being said, we are close enough to do this. We're close enough to noodle oodles. We're close enough to do the things that we need to do. So why don't we go ahead and get into our main story right now? Because I think it is time to talk about that stuff, because what else are we going to do? I mean, like, seriously, what else are we going to be doing here?
Here is our main story on the Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, some main story time as we are hanging out, doing our thing, hanging out across the multiverse, hanging out inside of your purse. What? Inside of your purse? Hanging out inside of this world as we are doing everything together. So let's talk about this, because I think that sometimes what we get to do is some of the most interesting stuff, not necessarily on the planet, but it's some interesting stuff overall as we are looking around, doing our thing, talking about the world. Because listen, you get to see inside of this space some things that most people don't get to see. You get to see some things that most people would probably question on why it's being done. Like, seriously. Not a joke as I say any of this. It's a lot of stuff that you get to see is some stuff that might make you go, because that's what happens. The world changes for you because some things don't make sense. And when you get to see more things from behind the scenes, you start asking more questions. Is really just how it normally goes. But here's the thing that I don't understand inside of workplaces. Why is it that we'll look at a report and say things need to be fixed and it's safety's responsibility to correct it? You know, like safety fix it, as Sam Goodman likes to say, from the Hop Nerd. And I look at it and go, so if this is what we're supposed to be doing, and they're complaining about reports, and all of a sudden something else goes wrong, why are you counted on if it's outside of the norm? Think about it. There's a lot of things to think about in that section. The other portion that I want to reference, because I think it's important, is, have you ever seen a coach during a game make a pass, throw a ball, make a play, make a goal, miss a goal, not cross the line? Now, I'm talking about physically on the field. I'm not talking about them running the play or telling their players to do this or do that. The reason I'm asking this question is for the following reason. Because you are aware that what the coach does is more of a strategy type of thing. It's not really doing the game. It's not doing the plays. It's not moving along and making the world happen in that particular fashion. What they are doing is asking questions. What they are doing is saying, make this move and make this happen. So if you start looking at that line in particular, You'll also maybe notice that the stuff that we do in the world of safety inside of the organization is coaching based. What does that mean? You are giving suggestions, recommendations based on knowledge base of what you have in regards of if something can be fixed or not. I know it gets weird when you start talking about that out loud and people go, what? What are you talking about? Think about it. You are giving recommendations is really how it works, because most organizations are based on operations. As we have said before, operations is a profit center where anything related to safety is a cost center. Because they will never see the information, they will never see the incident that you assisted in it not occurring. Just how it goes. And some people get so frustrated when we start talking about this. But if you do something that helps prevent something, an event, a near miss, so on, how do you prove that? How do you track it? Because that's like any time that you see a roadblock in the middle of the road. It's blocking something. How many cars did you help not pass that section because of the roadblock? You don't know that. I don't know that. It's impossible to almost to answer that question. Why do I say that? Because it's a roadblock. And you don't know what would have occurred in that day because of it. Good, bad, or indifferent. People get frustrated with that information, but it's the reality of the whole thing. So the next time you're in a meeting, the next time you're talking about this stuff, remember that. You're there for coaching. You're there to assist. You're there to give information in regards of what you think is best for the organization. And some people like it, and some people hate it, and some people are not even sure what's going on.
Oops! What did he just say?
We at Safety FM don't always agree with the viewpoints of our hosts and guests.
Now back to real safety talk on Safety FM.
Don't go anywhere.
You're listening to the home of real safety talk.
You're listening to Safety FM. We'll be right back.
If you're anything like me, you have certain tendencies to put things off, such as filing taxes, seeing the doctor, working on that home improvement project that you're supposed to be doing, but you just haven't gotten to it. And while most of the times it works out, the one thing in life that you really cannot afford to wait on is setting up term coverage life insurance. You've probably seen life insurance commercials on TV and thought, yeah, I'll look into it later. Well, the answer is no. This isn't something that you can wait for. Choose life insurance through Ladder today. Ladder is 100% digitals, no doctors, no needles, no paperwork. When you apply for $3 million in coverage or less, just answer a few questions about your health in an application. Ladder's customers rate them 4.8 out of 5 stars on Trustpilot, and they've made Forbes' Best Life Insurance in 2021's list. You just need a few minutes and a phone or a laptop to apply. Ladder's smart algorithm works in real time, so you'll find out if you're instantly approved. No hidden fees, cancel anytime, get full refund if you change your mind in the first 30 days. Ladder policies are issued by insurers with long proven histories of paying claims. They're rated A and A+ by AM Best. Finally, since life insurance costs more as you age, now is the time to cross it off your list. So go to ladder.com/safetyfm today to see if you're instantly approved. That's LADDER life.com/safetyfm. Ladderlife.com/safetyfm.
Is your safety training old, stale, and hacked? Is your safety trainer still preaching a warped version of behavior-based safety? How about safety training that actually addresses your hazards in your workplaces and is not standardized baloney from 25 years ago? Contact the Safety Wars team at safetywars.com or call Jim Posel at 845-269-5772. Remember, if you're receiving this message, you are the solution to unsafe workplaces.
Hey there, Jay Allen here with Safety FM, where we just don't talk about safety, we live it. And when it comes to safeguarding your future, there's no better partner than Acorns. This part of the show has been brought to you by Acorns and a powerful tool that makes saving and investing easier than ever. We all know that investing can feel overwhelming, especially with busy lives and no time to dive into the nitty-gritty of financial markets, but Acorns changes the game. With Acorns, you don't need to be a financial expert or have a hefty sum of money to get started. In fact, Acorns lets you begin with just spare change. All about those small steps, small investments today that can build into something much bigger over time. Acorns recommends that the expert build portfolio designed to fit financial goals. Then it does the heavy lifting for you by automatically investing your money. It's like having a financial advisor in your pocket working around the clock to help your money grow. So why wait? Head over to acorns.com/safetyfm or download the Acorns app and take that first step towards securing your future today. Remember, in the world of safety and investing, small actions today can lead to mighty outcomes tomorrow. Paid non-client endorsement. Compensation provides an incentive to positively promote Acorns. Investing involves risk. Acorns Advisors, LLC, and SEC registered investment advisors. View important disclosures at acorn.com/safetyfm. At Safety FM, we're all about making smart decisions on the job and in life. So take control of your financial future. This is Jay Allen reminding you to stay safe, stay smart, and invest in your tomorrow.
Radio Big. USA, Canada, UK.
Embrace a daily boost of nature with Field of Greens. Discover the simple power of one scoop to elevate your well-being. Enjoy the flavor that appeals to you the most and let the blend of organic fruits and vegetables enhance your life. Experience the following benefits with Fields of Greens. Noticeable energy increase to power you throughout the day.
Improved quality of sleep.
Enhanced digestive comfort and a general uplift in your wellness. Field of Green stands out with the selection of organically grown ingredients, each carefully picked for its benefits to your heart and overall health. We are confident that you'll appreciate the benefits of Field of Greens. If it doesn't meet your expectations, we offer a straightforward money-back guarantee. Jumpstart your health journey with a special offer, 15% off your first purchase plus complimentary expedited shipping. Just visit fieldofgreens.com and use the code SAFETYFM to redeem your discount. That's SAFETYFM at fieldofgreens.com. Experience Touch at fieldofgreens.com/SAFETYFM. And don't forget to tell them that Jay Allen sent you.
Safety never sounded so terrible. Rated R Safety Show.
Let's start using cutting-edge warp speed 5G technology with your cell phone. Let me tell you about my friends at mobilemobile.io. They have an ultra-fast 4G LTE and 5G network that covers 99% of Americans. So they've got you covered everywhere. Think about it for a moment. You have the opportunity to take a test drive for 10 days with unlimited talk, text, and premium data. What is premium data? Premium data is an allotment of a cellular data that you receive from a higher priority on the network. You won't get throttled like you will with some of those, well, non-brand service providers. To find out more information, all you have to do is go to mobilemobile.io. That's mobilemobile.io to start your 10-day free trial.
Hello.
Tearing the ass out of you like gas station sushi.
I got a good
Okay, here we are, 44 minutes past the top of the hour as you and I are hanging out on this lovely Tuesday, April the 15th, tax day for some of us. Yeah, this right here that you're taking a listen to beside it being the Rated R Safety Show, but song-wise, yeah, this right here is Ghosthood. Song's titled Good Good Feeling. It's readily available on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube Music. Yep. I think someone has a good feeling. So there you go. We would like to thank Ghosthood for allowing us to play this here on the Rated R Safety Show. Some information like always as we are doing our stuff. Okay, so let's get into it. Let me tell you about the most important thing that I will ever tell you in my lifetime, and that's about my friends at To Write Love on Her Arms. No matter what you're facing, you deserve to be connected to help, and the people at To Write Love on Their Arms can be there to help you throughout the journey. Things can get better. Healing is possible. To find out more information, all you have to do is go to TWLOHA.com. That's TWLOHA.com and click on the section that says Find Help. Once you get there, they'll see information about addiction, depression, anxiety, eating disorders, and self-injury, just to name a few. So there you go. Now, I'm going to tell you, if you are in the Orlando area this weekend, they have the Move For It, April the 19th through the 5th, or April the 19th through the whatever. It's a 5K run. It's happening on April 19th on Satellite Beach, right on the outskirts of good old Orlando. If not, I mean, they're doing meetups for the virtual race that they're going to do here in a few weeks, but I would say the in-person one is the way to go if you're here. It's in Satellite Beach, just in case. It starts at, let's see, what time? Check-in's at 7 a.m. So there you go. TWLOHA.com. More information readily available for you. Just click on the section there that says events, and that will get you moving and grooving and moving. All the fun stuff that one could say as we are looking together. No doubt there. So what do we have going on today? Let's talk about some other things inside of the world of the news, because that's what we kind of do. So you're at work, and it's a situation. If you ever found yourself lightly tapping your foot out of subtle, smooth jazz music piped into your favorite restaurant's a spare moment for the unfortunate staff who have to listen to the same stuff all day long, every day. A recent study looked at the mismatch between music and employees that need to hear, and the background tunes that are actually played in stores, restaurants, cafe. Researchers from Ohio State University and also University of Illinois and Hong Kong Polytechnic University coined the term workplace music misfits to describe the problem. What's the problem? Well off course, background music lit programmed, but the customers in mind, in a subtle way to encouragement of them to spend more money. Surprise, surprise. But workers might require a different style of music in order to be able to be more productive and, have less emotional drops as they experience, the experience of mental fatigue throughout the day. These changes can affect how they behave towards the workplace. They will less also likely to go above and beyond and more likely to slack off or break minor rules. The researchers suggest that some simple fixes, like letting staff help choose music or creating quiet zones, can make big differences. Have you ever seen a kitchen staff at a fine dining restaurant? If you have, I'm pretty sure that you know that you don't have to want to say, let these people near anywhere the sound system. I'm just saying. I mean that in a good way, by the way. I don't know. I'm pretty sure that if I had to pick music for a restaurant establishment, you better like some hardcore stuff. And I'm talking about music-wise because things are going to get weird. I'm sure it would. It would just get weird in regards to the stuff that I like taking a listen to. That's just me. It's okay. It happens sometimes. Anyways, let's do this. Let's bring some John Smalls into our life. Let him tell us about what the hell's going on with the Motivation Minute as we are coming up close to the 50-minute mile mark here inside of the show. So here we go. Here's some John Smalls.
The Motivation Minute, courtesy of GenesisGoldIRA.com and JaceCaseMedical.com.
The Motivation Minute.
Today's quote was submitted by Brett. Thomas Edison said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." I used to think that was a weird way to look at things. But then I worked for a guy named Jim. He encouraged me to see as many people as I could each day for an entire week. He told me to ask for a yes, but if I didn't get that, to tell the client it's okay to say no. I had been getting a whole bunch of maybes that would eventually turn into a no. He said, "Remember that every no is one no closer to a yes." So I went from being able to see an average of 8 to 10 new people each day to some days with like 25 stops. Yeah, I'd get 22 no's, but I would have 3 people who would say yes.
The Motivation Minute.
The Motivation Minute, courtesy of GenesisGoldIRA.com and JaceCaseMedical.com. I'm John Small. Thanks for listening. Your favorite motivational quotes can be submitted for upcoming programs at motivationminute.org.
Hello, I'm Richard Exley with your 1-minute devotion. When you're in Gethsemane, the situation can look hopeless. No matter how desperately you pray, things never seem to get any better. Worst of all, it feels like God has forsaken you. It feels like you have been left to wander alone in the darkness. But if hardship and suffering is all you're seeing, you're only seeing with the natural eye. For those who dare to see with both eyes, the natural eye and the spiritual eye, there's something beyond the pain and the brokenness of our shattered world. Romans 8 said, "Our present sufferings are not worth comparing with the glory that will be revealed in us." Lord Jesus, help us to look beyond our present circumstances to our eternal destiny. Amen. If these devotions are a blessing and an encouragement to you, you can subscribe at oneminutedevotion.com.
Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
The International Committee of the Red Cross has issued a warning about the deteriorating humanitarian situation in Gaza, describing it as hell on earth. Hospitals are reportedly running out of essential supplies amid ongoing hostilities.
Medical facilities are overwhelmed, struggling to provide care to the increasing number of casualties. The Red Cross has called for immediate access to deliver aid and medical assistance to affected areas. International organizations are urging all parties to allow humanitarian corridors to prevent further loss of life. Benjamin Wright reporting.
U.S. Special Envoy Steve Witkoff met with Russian President Vladimir Putin in St. Petersburg to discuss the ongoing conflict in Ukraine. The meeting follows President Trump's directive for Moscow to expedite its efforts toward a resolution.
Details of the discussions have not been disclosed, but both parties emphasize the importance of diplomatic engagement. Observers note that the talks signify a potential shift in U.S.-Russia relations concerning Eastern European stability. Further negotiations are anticipated in the coming weeks to build on this dialogue. Liam White reporting.
The U.S. Air Force Academy has announced it will no longer consider race as a factor in its admission process. This decision aligns with the Trump administration's broader stance on race-based considerations in federal institutions.
Officials stated that the change aims to promote a merit-based selection system for incoming cadets. Critics argue that this move could reduce diversity within the military academy. The policy shift is expected to take effect in the upcoming admissions cycle. Kyle Norris reporting.
Measles cases in Texas have risen to over 545, according to the state's health department. Health officials attribute the surge to declining vaccination rates in certain communities.
The department is urging residents to ensure their immunizations are up to date to curb the outbreak. Public health campaigns are being intensified to raise awareness about the importance of vaccinations. Local clinics are offering free measles vaccines to increase accessibility. Kevin Sanders reporting.
The U.S. Senate has confirmed President Trump's nominee, Dan Kane, as the top U.S. military officer. Kane, a former Air Force lieutenant general, will assume the role of chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff.
Supporters highlight Kane's extensive military experience and leadership capabilities. Opponents express concerns over his alignment with current administration policies. Kane is expected to focus on modernizing military operations and addressing global security challenges. Lawrence Keller reporting.
Consumer sentiment in the United States has declined sharply in April, marking the 4th consecutive monthly decrease. Economists link the downturn to escalating trade tensions and inflation concerns.
The University of Michigan's index shows a significant drop in consumer confidence levels. Analysts warn that sustained negative sentiment could impact spending and economic growth. Policymakers are monitoring the situation closely to implement measures that may stabilize the economy. Jessica Oakley reporting.
And that's the latest news headlines with Alan Edwards.
We're rocking all day at work because we don't give a duck. Autocorrect probably just saved my ass there. Like I give a flying, you know.
Whoa, flying what? There you go. Anyways, currently, let's see, 55 minutes past the top of the hour. We're about to get you out of here. Don't worry about that. Let's talk real quick about some things that happened back on this date. Back in 2020, on this date at the time, let's see. Okay. This date was the U.S.'s deadliest day during COVID-19 pandemic, with 2,752 reported deaths at the time. So there you go. Also, let's talk about some birthdays that are occurring today. Jordan Giles turns 24. Cody Christian, 30. Jack West turns 31. Emma Watson turns 35. Zamira Wiley, 38. Seth Rogen turns 43. Cooper Barnes, 46, Luca Evans, 46, Louis Fonzel and Chris Stapleton both turned 47, Linda Perry turned 60, Lynn Austin, 64, Philip Belgium turned 65, Thomas F. Wilson, 66, and Emma Thompson also turned 66. So there you go. Some birthdays for you right there. If you're looking at some days of the year to celebrate, Jackie Robinson Day, National Laundry Day, World Art Day, and last but not least, Tax Day. Did you think I was going to skip that one? I mean, come on. Tax Day. That's what we're doing. Some taxes there. So, some information for you, as always, as we are hanging and banging. Okay, what else? Do you need a rando? Yeah, let's give you a rando. I'm about to break out of a new 25-piece patio set, 1 plastic chair, and 24 beers. So there you go. Let's give you another one. It's tax deadline day in the U.S. Ever notice that the IRS together spells theirs? Just saying. Just saying. Also, if you need a phone starter for today, try this. When you buy new clothes, which do you do first? Wear them or wash them? I have a feeling that a lot of people are going to say wash or wear them. Just saying. Okay, what else? If you need a question for the water cooler, try this. A survey found that just 10% of people prefer this food to be well done or overburnt. What is it? A grilled cheese. A grilled cheese. Can I have that with a Royale with cheese? So there you go. Anyways, that's going to sum up our time together. Thanks for hanging out with me on this lovely Tuesday. At the top of the hour, I'll be going over to radiobig.fm if you want to come and hang out with me for the next couple hours or so. If you don't want to do that, that's perfectly fine as well. You can hang out here on Safety FM with the likes of Sheldon Primus as he talks about the world of safety consulting. Thank you for always being the best part of Safety FM and Radio Big, and that is the listener, because without you, it makes no sense to do what we do around here. So there you go. Anyways, if I can leave you with a deep thought for today, I would love to leave you with this one. If you want to be good at something, you first must be willing to be bad at it. That's some stuff for you. Okay? That's it. Anyways, I know who you are. You know who I am. Love ya, mean it, and goodbye.
The views and opinions expressed during this broadcast, podcast, or radio show are solely those of the host and guests and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of Safety FM and or Radio Big. The content discussed, including examples of analysis, is provided for illustrative purposes only. It should not be applied as the sole solution in real-world scenarios, as it is based on limited and dated open source information. Any assumptions made during this broadcast, podcast, or radio show are not reflective of Safety FM and or Radio Big. No portion of this broadcast, podcast, or radio show may be reproduced, stored in a retrieval system, or transmitted in any form or by any means, electronic, mechanical, recording, or otherwise, without prior written permission of Safety FM and or Radio Big. For permission requests, please contact Safety FM or Radio Big directly.